Hello and welcome back to All the Gear, Some Idea. So today we have got a Suzuki K1 Gsxr 600. Now this has been bought as a cheap bike, not by myself, but by Matt with 2Ts, who has, I believe, been on the channel before. He has bought it as a replacement for his R6 and also his S1000R that unfortunately got returned back to the garage due to some engine faults. So he's bought this for a grand total, I believe, of £800. However, it's not as it may seem. He bought the bike with an indicator fault and a potential battery fault. He then replaced the voltage rectifier, as when he got it home, it was smoking, pretty much on fire. So replaced that, took it for a ride, and unfortunately broke down. So what it was the battery basically died. The rectifier seems like it's working okay, but the stator itself is probably the issue. So I do have new stator rectifier that we can test the old one, check it, and then test the new one, and also check that. So I've also got a full service kit for the bike as well. Now it does need a few little other bits, as I will show you in a second. On the clutch cover itself, someone seems to have put a adapter into the plate. No idea why, not sure what it's there for, but it probably will recoil if the bike was lent over far enough. So I will show you that in a second. So this is the cover itself, and as you can see, it's got some sort of T in there, or some sort of adapter. Not sure what it's for. The bike generally just seems like it's unloved. It looks like it may have been on a track day, or it's definitely been ridden hard through some of its life. Got no real history on the bike, hence why we're doing all the service stuff now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the cover off here, and we will start taking a look at the stator first and testing that and having a look at it. Okay, so we've got the multimeter ready, and this is the plug for the stator itself that goes into this cover here. So what we're going to do is unplug this, and then you've got 3 bits in there. Now, I have already tested it, but I cannot remember what the readings were. So what we're going to do is shove one of these in here, another one in here. We've got about 4 ohms. Now I know the new one is testing at 3 ohms, so that's slightly higher than it should be, if the new one is correct, that is. And same again. So let's get it out, let's have a look at it visually and see if we can find anything that is wrong with it. Now upon removing these, you've got all of them are the same length apart from one, and that is this little one, and it sits at the very bottom. So when you remove it, it will feel quite tight, and that's because of the magnets that are in here. Now, upon inspecting it, you can see how burnt some of these coils of wire look. So some of them look okay, and other ones look burnt. So what we're going to do is grab the new one, and I'll show you what the new one looks like, and then hopefully we'll get them changed over. Okay, so here's the new one. You can clearly see the difference. Now once this is fitted, I will show you what resistance we have once it's fitted. Okay, so what I've had to do is cut a cable tie off and make it match this one. So on the new one, this was coming through here and above the top, which wouldn't work because, well, it would hit the plate that goes around it. So hopefully this is going to work. If not, it can get sent back. Let's put these in. Okay, so that's the new one all fitted with a new seal. I've cleaned it all up and done all that jazz. So now what we're going to do is test what this one reads. Okay, so this one's now reading 16. What was the last one reading? 4. So makes sense. As long as this one works, then we're on to a winner. So what we're going to do now is refit the battery, and then we will test see if it's charging. We'll change the regulator over as well. Now I already know on this bike that when I had to help him get it back here again, we fitted a battery from my ZZR to the bike. That then allowed enough time to get it here without it going flat. And then when I tested it with a multimeter, it was only running at about 12 volts, which was battery voltage. There was no charging, there was no undercharging. It just was not charging. So I believe what's happened is the stator was overcharging. That's then fried the rectifier. Because of that, it's then killed the stator. And here we are. So let's test it now. Let's get this battery back in. Hopefully the bike runs. I have lost a little bit of oil, but it's not the end of the world. I haven't lost all of it. And we're doing an oil change anyway. Okay, so here is the voltage rectifier. It sits underneath the trim on the left-hand side of the bike. So this has been replaced already. However, it's not the one that came with the new stator. So what we're going to do is replace it with the one that did come with the new stator. So hopefully it all works together in perfect harmony. And she's out. So I can see around here there's some slight burning of the previous regulator that has been replaced. Okay, so that's the new rectifier in. Obviously, need to tighten up the wiring on both sets of those. What we're going to do now is set the multimeter up so we can check the voltage at the battery and when it's running. Okay, so as you can see, we've got 12.6 volts in the battery. We've got it linked up, ready to go on the multimeter. Just stick the ignition on. Voltage will drop down. So we're at 12.4. Now you can see we're at 13.6, so we know it's charging lovely. The regulator is actually working because it's regulating that voltage, holding it at a certain point. It's not going to 14, 14.5 and going too much, which I guarantee is what happened before. Give it a little rev. Absolutely perfect. So let's get this wiring all tidied up and we'll crack on with the rest of it. Now we know that the voltage is there, the battery's charging, which is what it didn't do before. Before it was, like I said, it was sat at 12. Obviously the battery has been charged, but as you can see, it's now dropping back down to about 12.6, 12.7 now. And then it will, when you start it, rise back up. So let's carry on with the love to the bike. Okay, so let's go on to the air filter and spark plugs. There we go. She's off. Pull the air filter out. It's K&N. Very dirty, but I will let Matt have that and he can clean it and oil it and put it back in. But we have got a brand new air filter for it. Oh look, we've got a piece of metal just hanging inside. That's a weird place to put it, not gonna lie. it's come from the front of the bike and somehow jimmied its way all the way through. Amazing. Right, so we're going to get this off, get to them spark plugs. Okay, so what we've had to do to remove the airbox is you've got a breather here, a breather at the back, then you lift it up and there's also a plug just here which I need to try to undo, which is, there we go. And then hopefully this will slide out like so. And now we can see the coil packs. Hopefully we can bring these cover out. And then these should just pop up like so. And they're out. 3, 4. Cool. Let's get the spark plug socket. Show you the right one, and get these out. Okay, so okay. Well, that was loose. That wasn't even tight. Let's try the next one. Amazing. Helps when you've got some sort of tightness. Put it down. Yeah, they're hand tight. I promise you, I have not been through these and loosened them. Or is this the only tight one? No. Amazing. I wasn't lying when I said it's not been loved. In fact, let me grab a used one. So, we can tell that they've not been tightened if they zoom in. So on this hand here, you can see how flat this crush washer is, and you can see that that one hasn't been crushed. Amazing. So these are CR9E, which I believe are the same spark plugs that go in the Kawasaki. Right, let's put these coils back in. Two. 3. 4. Right, let's get that airbox back in place. Then put the trumpet bits back on. Right, we've got a new high flow filter. Obviously, not saying it's as good as the K&M one we've taken out, but this one's ready to go. Haven't got to clean the other one out. So this is what we're going to be putting back in. Just tighten these up. Right, now it's time for the oil filter to be removed. Hopefully I get my hand in there now. There she blows. It's a long old thread. And she's out. So what I'm going to do now is take the trim off, or the fairing off the other side, so we can change that cover and get the oil filter out. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so cover's off, bolts are out. This is the oil filter. You see how rusty it is around the top. So I'm going to say it's been in there for quite a while. Now, I'm going to pull this off and have a look in here. So yeah, that is a hole straight through there. Grab this. So that's been bodged for some reason to fit. But no idea why it would have an oil return line or anything like that, unless it's been turboed at some point maybe. But that's ridiculous, having oil being able to just come out. Poor workmanship to whoever has done that. So we should have, in my box of bits, a new one of those. So what I'm going to do is clean the face of this up, put the new seal on, and then put it on. Okay, so new one is fitted. I've also found a replacement bolt for the one that was missing. We've got no silly hole in the side of it anymore, which is absolutely ridiculous. So that can go in the bin. We need to just put the new oil filter back on. Obviously the old one's down there. Sun plug back in, fill it with oil, fairings back on. The front forks do need to new seals, but I don't think I have time to do that on this video. So let's crack on and get the oil filter back in. Okay, so that is the bike all back together. So we've done service, spark plugs, air filter, stator, obviously tested it. I've just tested it before putting the seat back on as well, and it was reading at 13.8 volts when it was running, so that is perfect. I've warmed the bike up, the oil level has been checked, so all that's left to do now is give it a little road test. So I'll phone Matt with 2 T's and make sure that that's all okay, see if he wants me to take it back to him. But it runs. It needs a bit more loving. It needs some tyres, probably some brakes, and obviously the fork seals. And I would also recommend either a new chain or cleaning the chain. But yeah, we've given some love to the K1 Gsxr. So be interesting to see what it rides like. The tyres aren't great, as I said. So yeah, if I've been a help, don't forget, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you next time.